Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of 0-2 Heroes. We're back. We have another episode. We still don't have an introduction or a slogan yet. Eventually, we will, but I don't know. This is like 5 episodes in a row. I've actually put an episode out. I still don't have a slogan, but who gives a shit? This is also the first episode we're doing in person. I want to say, I think it's been 2 years since I've recorded a podcast in person. So, no more awkward Discord pauses. So, when I point to him and I say, please welcome to the show...
What up, Night Squad? It's your boy, Redfox, host of Night of Living, a podcast. And we are here live in person in the Grand Theater that is my apartment, featuring 2 cats that will fight as we record, just so it fits the vibe of the podcast. Mikey, thank you for having me. And also, I just thought of a slogan for you.
Okay, lay it on me.
All right. Fighting Fists of Fury. Okay. I don't know how, but work that into something.
Work it in? Okay, thank you. I think it's funny that you thanked me for having you on. I'm in your house right now. Thank you for having me here.
This is your house now, man. This was the big surprise I had for you.
Oh, we're roommates now?
All this is yours, except for the cats. Me and the cats want to go, we're gonna join Jay West on his quest to become the hobo fighter of the world.
So, before we get too far into this, yes, like we said, we have Redfox as the guest today. Before we even get into what game we're playing today, tell the listeners, tell me, either real quick or real slow, take your time, what's your history with video games, and particularly, what's your history with fighting games?
Well, Mikey, I'm glad you brought that up. So, ever since I was a young lad, I've been plagued with the Dark Hado.
Oh, no.
Okay. It's happened many, many times. Now, I have been playing video games for goddamn years. I'm the best. And if the next part of this episode, I did not win against him in the game we were playing, the episode ends here, guys. I've been playing video games my entire life. As you can see, I have every console known to mankind hooked up on one TV. It's Fire Hazard. That's the other real-life game I like to play called Will the Apartment Catch Fire? But, yeah, so my gaming history goes back extensively, and particularly since 0-2 Heroes, fighting games are my jam. Mostly, I love horror video games. They're my number one favorite. Fighting games are about a Dragon Punch motion separate from it. Me, my other podcast, Drunken Gamers podcast, me and my 2 co-hosts, or my 3 co-hosts, Lou and Mikey.
Not me, Mikey, different Mikey.
Other Mikey. Mikey from Drunken Gamers. The 3 of us have been fighting since, when did Vietnam end? About a week after Vietnam ended and the dust settled, we started fighting each other. It is a bloodbath. We do about 2 fighting game nights a week, where we just kick the living shit out of each other. And we don't just play the newer stuff either. Yeah. When we play fighting games, we go back. Like for example, right now, I've been playing through the Mortal Kombat series.
Okay.
I started with 9 on the Vita while playing 10 and 11. I was playing all three at the same time. The story's very confusing. Don't ask me what it is. I did this to try to keep up, to catch myself up on the story before Mortal Kombat 1 came out, and I just confused myself all over. So, but we're actually we're beating the shit out of each other in Mortal Kombat 10 right now, and Injustice 2. But then, last week, we were playing Third Strike.
Okay.
We jump around with fighting games, but we're all big enthusiasts of it. Fun fact, I have won Evo before.
Really?
No. But if we can make that rumor spread around that Redfox has won Evo, it was back in 2005. I was 8 years old, so the internet wasn't around. You wouldn't be able to find footage. So really, you can't tell if I'm lying or not.
So if we want to make this happen, we have to, not this podcast because we just said it was fake. Have me on one of your podcasts and pick an Evo 06 when there's no internet footage, but also not one of the headlining games. You didn't win Street Fighter.
Oh no, because I won Clay Fighter.
Because there's records of that. You won the Clay Fighter side event at something. I know people who have won. You ever play Catherine Full Body? That weird
Jesus
puzzle
Christ,
game?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a competitive Catherine side tournament at Evo, and I know people who have like competed in that and like won that. So like you like you're the Evo clay fighter 63 and a quarter champion on the 64.
Yeah, I was all state clay fighter back in '86. So I mean, but yeah, I love fighting games. Yeah, if I can ask you a fighting game question, what's your favorite retro fighting game?
How far back is retro? Like,
so I'm going pre PS2 for retro on this because PS2 has too much of a medley of great fighters that still work now, and most of them are available now on as remasters or in additions. So pre PS2 era.
So my first reaction for retro was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but that was on the PS2. I have so I don't think that counts because I have 2 PS2 copies of that. So before that, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go real stupid just because I'm thinking how much like silly fun I've had with this game. Have you ever played Kart Fighter?
Yes, I have.
The fucking ROM hack for Mario Kart where they made it Street Fighter.
Yes, I have.
I've played way too many games of Kart Fighter, just like when we used to hang out. I hacked my Wii so I could like play like NES ROMs on it, and we're like, cool, we're gonna do this fucking weird Japanese bootleg ROM of Street Fighter meets Mario Kart.
For me, now I want to say Killer Instinct for the SNES.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I actually have that black cartridge right there.
Okay.
That is Killer Instinct.
Fun, okay.
And in the Game Boy that's somewhere over there is not those two, it's a Game Boy original.
Oh, okay.
Is the Game Boy version of Killer Instinct. I won't go KI though. I'm going to go TMNT, the Tournament Fighters.
Oh, that's a go. Okay.
That game fucks to a disgusting degree. I don't know how they haven't thought to bring... I want Arc System Works
to do that instead of Dragon Ball next time.
Well, yeah, don't do another because Fighter Z is perfect.
Yeah,
you just need to keep adding characters, and that's good. You don't need a Fighter Z2. What you need, also, how many more issues of Goku you're going to get? What you need is you need to take Arc System Works and take all 4 turtles, then take real life turtles.
Okay,
and just like I'm going to find out who's in charge of giving them game ideas.
Okay.
And every day, or once a month, I'm going to mail them 4 baby turtles until they get the fucking message. Arc System Works making a TMNT fighting game would be great because TMNT, sorry, not to ramble, TMNT actually has a decent history with fighting games. So there are 2 of them that come to my mind immediately is TMNT Tournament Fighters, which is for the SNES and the Sega. Play the SNES one; it's a better version.
I was going to say they're 2 different ones. Don't they have a slightly different roster?
Different roster and slightly different gameplay mechanics. The Sega because of how the D-pad went, it had the omnidirectional. So they made combos more Street Fighter based.
Yes. Okay.
As of SNES did it more MK based. Fighting game fans will understand that reference there. But they have another Ninja Turtles game that is almost like a Smash Bros.
On the Wii.
On the GameCube.
Smash Up? Well, it's something like that.
Oh,
that's the one because it came out around the same time as the animated movie.
Yeah, it came out. Well, yes, but it was in relation to the 2003 Fox Box one.
Okay.
It was called or Mutant Melee. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Mutant Melee. So let me see here. Mutant Melee. So this is what it was like.
I'm sorry for all of our listeners at home. You should just come hang out at Redfox's house next time we do an episode so you can see this.
Yeah, just come by.
Okay.
It was like an open... It played almost like Power Snow.
Okay. Because that's not the game I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of, Ninja Turtles Smash Up for the Wii. Again, this one, it's the sequel to that. Looks just like it, but with more Smash Bros. Influence.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say...
Okay. Yeah.
This one came out around the time the animated movie that came out for the Fox show.
Right,
which
right.
I don't know how to work Ninja Turtles into this episode, but that was a great show. We need to do a Ninja Turtles video game so we could just talk Turtles the whole episode.
We can do a fucking Tournament Fighters one. I got my SNES fucking hacked over there. Literally, I get no work done. I just play SNES games. So yeah, that was I wanted to find out about retro gaming.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. I love it. Okay. So, tell us... So normally I let the guest pick what game we're going to play. And you picked this episode, and if I remember correctly, you picked it when I was last on your show. We talked comic books, and I think you picked it, and immediately after that you said, "Fuck you, Lou, I'm playing with Mikey instead."
Yes.
So please tell us what game we're playing today.
All right, so we are playing Garou, Mark of the Wolves. It's Fatal Fury 4. Okay, not called Fatal Fury 4. It's called Garou, Mark of Wolves. It's an SNK game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually learned more about this game from playing it. My co-host, Lou from Drunken Gamers, has been trying to get me to play this game with him for years. We own it on the Xbox. And I kept saying, I'll definitely play it. Never played it. Mikey brought it up. I was like, oh man, this will piss Lou off. Yeah, let's play it. And now I've been studying. I should have fought Lou for training, but I can't play it with him.
Oh,
because then it ruins the joke of me not playing it with him.
You have to wait until after the episode to do it. Yeah, I was really happy when you picked this game, because it's been on my list of games to play for a while. And you're like, what games do I have? What games do I have? And I normally try to pick retro games that we can emulate so no one has to spend money.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I can get this. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, we can do it online, or... Because I think you only had it on Xbox. I'm like, we can do it on the emulator, or we can meet up and do it. And you're like, it's $2.99. I'm just gonna buy another copy for the PlayStation, and then we ended up doing it in person anyways.
Yeah, I ended up getting it literally that night. I sent you the picture. I was like, downloading this bitch now. I love the old school art style to this game. I actually got a little bit more appreciation for it. Because so we were supposed to record the episode a while back, and then life happens. So naturally, 6 months later, we're recording the episode. Yes. But when I tried it out back then, practicing it a bit, I was a little not hesitant on the game, but I think it had been a while at that point since I played a retro fighter.
Yeah.
And then I bought the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection because you sent that thing to the group chat about the sale. Now I was like, well, clearly I need to buy this.
You bought 24 games for $12 or something like that.
Yeah, well, we didn't do the Dark Side or something.
Oh, you didn't do the second one?
We'll get that one next time. I can't have too many games to play, man. I'll lose my mind. I'm playing 8 games right now at once. 2 on each console in 4 different consoles.
That's a lot of math.
Yeah. I'm getting no work done.
So this is a Fatal Fury game. Yeah, a lot of the characters in this either show up in future King of Fighters games or are the kids from the previous characters of Fatal Fury. The main character of this, Rock Howard, is the big bad guy, Geese Howard's son from the first 4 Fatal Fury games or whatever.
Right, and then he gets taken over by Street Fighter, and then he becomes a Street Fighter character.
And I don't know what the craze was, but right around this time... there was a push for all of the fighting games to go, you know what? Fuck our normal roster. We're going to the future, baby. Because I think the only Fatal Fury returning character was Terry Bogard. It came out a year or two before Third Strike, where the only returning characters are Ken, Ryu, and Akuma. And then it also came out around Tekken 3, which again takes place in the future and had all new characters. I don't know what the fuck was going on in the 90s where everybody goes, we have all of these iconic characters that people know and love. Fuck that, we're going to come up with new people.
I got the answer for you.
Okay.
You know why it's the 90s? It was the extreme 90s. That's why everything had to be futuristic.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk as fuck. So you're like, Jin, he's a fucking devil now. Akuma, he's a robot. He's not a robot, but he's got a metal mask.
No, you say that, and this is probably right around the time Akuma was the secret boss in, I want to say, Street
three.
Fighter versus X-Men, where he comes out as Cyber Akuma, and he has like the robot arm and and like the leg and the arm. Yeah,
I forgot about it.
You're right.
He
It's from the
existed.
future.
Yo, put him in Street Fighter 6. Just put him with Street Fighter 6.
You know what? Regular Akuma's not even out yet. Forget regular Akuma. Give us Cyber Akuma.
Cyber Akuma should have been base game. Put him in Fighters too. And in Soul Calibur. Actually, put Akuma in Soul Calibur. That'd be awesome.
I'm trying to... I figured this out once, and I don't know where the spreadsheet is, about how many fighting game characters were guests in other fighting game characters. And I think Akuma is like number 1 or number 2 for like most shared.
Number 1.
Because he's like in Tekken now, and not just like in Tekken where like it's a crossover character like Link in Soul Calibur. Akuma's like canonically in the story now. They added him as like as a real character, and I'm just like, Akuma's just everywhere.
Yeah. Fun fact: he's in a game called Ashura's Wrath as well.
Okay.
There's a DLC where it's a side chapter in Ashura's Wrath which is not a fighting game, but where Akuma is there, and Akuma fights Ashura, and it fights almost like Street Fighter 4. It's fucking weird. How Ashura hasn't showed up in any other fighting game. He's the perfect character for it. He's Akuma, but slightly like less angry.
Okay. Because Akuma's very angry. That's like his whole thing. He's just like consumed by anger all the time.
And he sells fruit. Never lose sight of the fact that the man has a day job.
Yeah.
Sell fruit by day, beat people who fuck up at night.
Uh-huh. This was like a particularly good pick of a fighting game because you were like, okay, we should do Mark of the Wolves, and then like the next month they go, surprise, after 20 years, Mark of the Wolves 2 is coming out. So,
yeah, what the fuck? I seen that earlier today.
Yeah. It's called City of the Wolves.
They had one chance to use Den of Wolves, and they fucking missed it.
Now, I'm not super into SNK games. I played this game in particular in like my old arcade, but I'd never know the story mode for them. I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure all of you fucking FGC Twitter nerds are gonna get on my ass about this, but the reason it's called like Mark of the Wolves isn't Terry Bogard, isn't he like the Wandering Wolf? Isn't that like his fighting name? His nickname is like the Something Wolf.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. His correct title is the legendary Hungry Wolf.
Hungry Wolf, there we go.
That's what it is. From Garou Densetsu, meaning Legend of the Hungry Wolf.
Gotcha.
And he has a pet monkey named Uki.
Oh, I did not know that.
I learned that a while back when I was researching an SNK versus Capcom game.
Oh, another game I want to do on the show. But okay, so I'm on the SNK fandom now because where else would I be? Terry Bogard, he's 5'11". I was expecting to be taller. Wild Wolf. Hobbies, house painting. Dislikes, cigarettes, and slugs.
I'm with him on those. I'm with him on both of those.
I don't... his forte in sports? Basketball. I don't understand how any of this has come up in any SNK game before.
You know what I love? And so, older arcade games had this beautiful, like, way of telling you the story of these characters through, like, arcade mode or, like, interactions with other characters. And, like, you learn so much about the characters through the game. Like, I learned a while back, and it put me on a fucking rabbit hole, about Sean from Street Fighter being Ken's, like, disciple.
Yes, okay, from Third Strike. Yeah.
Third Strike. Now, if you play Third Strike, how the fuck do you learn that? Well, you learn it through, like, arcade modes, interactions, like, art, like, the gallery art, shit like that. Old fighting games, they didn't just spoon feed it to you. They kind of, like, it's in a weird Dark Souls kind of way where it's like, well, you play the game.
You have to find it.
Well, you have to find it. You learn it as you play it. And you learn more about the story and these interactions between the characters. Because, like, Street Fighter has a story mode. I'm just using Street Fighter as an example, but has a story mode. And you learn the story as you play through it through small little interactions, opening intro, like dialogue, shit like that. They do it well, but these old games like Garou, and the older Street Fighter games, I want to play the story mode just to learn about these characters. Because Fatal Fury apparently has a really interesting story to it.
I could not tell you.
Same.
And just like, maybe just because I'm a shitty podcast host, I didn't do enough research. I can't tell you about the whole Fatal Fury history. But it's...
Hey, we're here for the fun, not the facts.
Yeah, I say this every episode off mic when I talk to people. I'm not here for the analytics. I'm here for the vibes. So we're just gonna... Yeah. We're going to throw some fists and see how the night goes. But
all fists, no facts. There we go.
Okay. Welcome to 0-2 Heroes, all fists, no facts. I like it. But not all of the characters, but a lot of the characters in this game in particular, like I said, relate to other characters. And like, there's two characters who are like the sons of like a previous rival. And then, have you played any of the King of Fighters games?
Yeah. Okay,
so in the new King of Fighters games, there's a luchador named King of Dragons, King of Dinosaurs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He is Tizak, the Griffin guy, but like before he's a dinosaur. He apparently got so disgraced losing this tournament, he gave up his Griffin luchador helmet, retired that persona, and when he went back into wrestling, came back as like the King of Dinosaurs. It's the same character, but with a different headset.
So again, that's why I love fighting game lore, because it would make sense for him to be as a griffin, as a bird, evolving from a bird to a dinosaur, coming back, like being disgraced as what he was, which was weak, and then coming back, evolved into a fucking dinosaur. That's why I love fighting games. It's small shit like that. Also, I have a beef with Tizak.
Oh, okay. I was going to get into this in the second half, but I also have a beef with Tizak.
Oh, wait, we can say it for second half.
No, okay, you brought it up. I'm excited to do this now. I'm a scrub when it comes to fighting games, and I hate grapplers. I hate fighting him, I hate fighting Zangief, I hate fighting Potemkin and Guilty Gear.
Hate fighting King.
Yeah, and just like, he's just like, he doesn't do a lot of attacks, but when he gets you, like, great, half my meter's gone because he grabbed me, and just like, I'm not good enough to space around him. I hate Griffin, I hate Tizak. Were there any other characters you hated to fight besides Tizak?
So, I hated to fight Tizak, but I also hated that I really wanted to use Tizak. Because I'm trying to get into grappler characters. Okay. I only have one that I'm particularly good with, and it's Bane.
Okay.
And Injustice. But, and the new people that I've been playing fighting games with, a lot of them are grappler players. So I've been trying that, it looks fucking fun. Yeah. Tizak can eat a dick. Fighting him, I cannot do it. B. Janet.
Okay.
I'm so good on ever fighting her again in my life.
Okay. I might have to play her tonight then. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, perfect. And then the last person, which is funny because I actually use him, is Hokutomaru.
Okay.
Now, I use Hokutomaru. I hate fucking fighting Hokutomaru. But it's the same way I use Ibuki in Third Strike.
Yeah.
I hate fighting fucking Ibuki.
Now, the character you play, is that the one... There's two characters you named begin with H's, and I don't have the list in front of me. Is that the one who's a kid that jumps up and hits with, like, the staff from the sky, or is that the other one?
No, that one. The ninja.
Okay, the ninja. Yes. I don't know if you picked up on this, but the voice actress of that character is Naruto.
I no longer want to play as him. I'm now a Rock Howard man.
the Japanese version of Naruto, of course, just because...
Oh, it's a Japanese version. Yeah, I'm alright with him.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say...
I'm okay with him now.
I don't know if... Oh, you're right, I did play the English one. But I did look it up, and it's the same Japanese voice actors for both Naruto and this ninja character.
Okay.
Do you not like Naruto? I just assumed you were
I love Naruto.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I absolutely love Naruto. I hate Naruto's voice, though.
Oh,
the only thing I hate with Naruto. That and the swing.
Okay. Perfect. Tizak, Seagull. So, I'm going through my notes, and it looks like I got out of the way most of the stuff I want to talk about before the fight. Is there anything you want to discuss before we pause for the ad break.
All right, so before we pause, just want to let you guys all know it's going to be a bloodbath. There's no blood in this game, but it's going to be a bloodbath. I'm going to find a way to use a fatality in this game. It's the only way for me to win the Tekken tournament. It's by me using a fatality to become the king of the Mark of Wolves during the Street Fighter. Yeah. With that being said, hopefully I got in your head enough to be able to win this.
I'm fucked. All right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We'll see you in a minute. Hi there. Are you in the market for a new energy drink? Are all of the same old, boring, basic energy drinks no longer exciting to you? Do they not energize you anymore? Then try Cryptid Energy. We have 7 brand spanking new flavors that you can enjoy, such as the standard Cryptic Energy, the Arctic Yeti Blitz, or the Kraken Candy. But don't take my word for it. Here are some testimonies from actual drinkers and not paid actors.
One day when I was 13, I bought a Cryptid Energy. I believe it was the Kraken Candy flavor. I was just real tired one day, and I went to my local Piggly Dog, and I grabbed me a Cryptid Energy. I noticed the can had a warning label, do not drink unless you are over 18. But I figured, what was the worst that was going to happen? Well, guess what? I'm still energized from that one can 21 years later. That's right, there was so much energy in that one can of Cryptid Energy that I have not slept and I have not aged in 21 years. I'm 34 now, and I'm still rolling through life using the energy of that one can. Thanks, Cryptid.
Wow, what amazing feedback. Thank you. Now I think it's time that you found your inner Cryptid. And we're back. And the same way, we're back and I still didn't have a slogan. We're back and I lost another fucking match.
Your boy's on top.
Yeah, Redfox beat me clean 3-1. I won the first match pretty handily. I was like, oh, I'm feeling good about this. I'm gonna win this.
That Grant was tough.
Yeah, but then you also beat my Grant every other time I played you. So just like, I think you figured me out very quickly.
So, should we talk about the characters we use?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, so starting off, I thought I was going to be a little slick bitch, and I ended up using Hokutomaru, little ninja dude. That didn't work out well. I got the shit kicked out of me. That was not fun.
I'm surprised because like story mode, that character is like the second to last match before you reach Grant, the final boss. That semifinals gave me the most difficult time like fighting that character, him and Tizak. But like once I figure out how to like, okay, I just don't get close to Tizak and I can beat him. That little ninja guy kept fucking me up, so I don't understand how I beat you that one time and then never beat you again.
That was it. One and done. I made my father proud. And then my other character that I used was Hotaru Futaba. Absolutely great. I was telling Mikey about this during the match. I love to use female main characters, mostly because I know that there's some dude out there who's like, oh, I got beat by a girl. Yeah, you did, bitch. But yeah, I used Hotaru for the last 2 matches and all, and your boy clinched it.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting to lose that badly. But especially after the first match. Like I said, I was feeling confident about it, but I guess none.
Yeah, well, when you brought out oh my god, what is that girl's name?
B. Jenny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you brought her out and started after imaging me, I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die.
Especially when you started off the podcast with saying, I'm no good fighting against that character. I thought I had it. I'm like, cool. That's like the next best character I have. This is easy.
Well, so I will say, because the second match that I played, I used, for the second match, I used, trying to check and see here, it wasn't Hoon, because I got I played with Hoon in the after part of that. I forget who I used in the second match. I forget his name. I'm looking it up now to see. I used Hotaru in the third, not Jaehoon. Who the fuck did I use in the second match?
I thought you used Hotaru Futaba the second match.
No, I used Hotaru in the last match. I used 3 characters. I used the one that looked the most like a Street Fighter knockoff.
Okay.
I forget who that... Because remember, I caught you with the...
Gato.
Gato, there we go.
Yeah.
I used Gato in the second match. Because that's when you used B, what's her name?
Jenny, yeah.
B Jenny on me. Because I caught you, I got you in the fucking...
You got me in the fucking air. His like, super move goes, like, 90 degrees straight up. And I'm like, I didn't know that.
He's a geometry major.
Yeah, God, fuck that noise. And, okay, so, I lost, like, real bad, too. I was pretty confident. And I don't understand how... It seemed like you didn't know how the game worked. You were like, why are there, like, phantom moves behind you? Why are you glowing like that? I'm like, oh, that's, like, part of the top system. You have to select, like, what part of the health bar goes to. It's like a big aspect of the game. And you're like, I don't know.
Okay. Here's why. I can explain that.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I am great with the fundamentals.
Okay.
That's why. Like, there's game... Like, I'm trying to think of a good game example. Okay. Street Fighter 6, a more recent example. Which, if you want to know more about Street Fighter 6, Own 2 Heroes... Great episode, 2 episodes back on Street Fighter 6 with Shadow from Animated Gamers. I'm great with the fundamentals of fighting games. Like, I am a very good rushdown, but my rushdown isn't like normal people's rushdowns where it's like combo into this and extend. No, I know how to get in, get my hits in, and then I backdash back.
Okay.
And, like, I know when to defend, when to jump in for attacks. The extra stuff, I cannot collaborate the fucking two. Like, you've seen a few times where I was, like, combo into, like, this, like, EX move.
Yeah.
Only a few times, though. But I can get in, do my damage, get back, and then defend, wait for my opening, get back in. That's where I do good because a lot of people... Like, especially with, like, if this game had a better grab mechanic, I would catch better with grabs because what I do is I get in, hit these rushdown combos, and people are still defending because they think that I'm going to, like, combo to an extend.
Hit him with
like,
another one, and then that's when you just whip him up.
And then that's where I'm like, wrong person, I ain't that good. I just grab him real quick, and then I get that last little bit in.
All right, so seeing as how you had no idea what the top system was, I'm going to go ahead and explain it both to you and the audience.
Oh, please
people
do.
who haven't played it.
I didn't ask you to play something. I need to know.
So, when you open up Garou, at the start of the match, it tells you a top system, and it takes your health bar, and it doesn't give you extra health. It gives you, like, super health for either... It breaks it into, like, you can pick the first third, the middle third, or the last third. And what happens during that is, like, you get a little bit of a stronger move, and you can, like, doing that, like, there's certain things you can do that will actually, like, regain your health, and you regain, like, more health doing that. Like, I tried doing it a couple times, but you can parry in this game. It's called Just Defend.
I did that once, and I was like, oh, that's lit.
Yes, it's a Just Defend, it's a parry, like in Third Strike.
He beat my ass right after I did it, too. So.
And you get a little bit of health back. If you do that in top, you get even more health back. I think you might just, like, regenerate very little health just, like, hanging out in top. And, like, there's strategy to whether you want it in, like, the first, the middle, or, like, the last third.
I just kept matching what you were doing.
Yeah, I noticed, and I'm trying to figure it out, because, like, a lot of people like to use it in the very... They like to start out with it, because then you come out of the gate strong, and you can do a whole bunch of special stuff. And some people like to do it at the very end as, like, a comeback mechanic. Like, I'm on my last legs, I need the extra strength, like, to even it out. Neither of those really worked for me. I kept sticking it in the middle, because what happens is personally, I focus too much on trying to do, like, those special attacks So like if I do it at the very end, I'm like down to my last health. I'm like, oh, I have to use like my special top moves because otherwise it's going to go to waste. And as I'm trying to figure that out, I get hit twice and I die. But if I put it in the middle, I think it's like, for me at least, I can go like, okay, even if I fuck up using top, I still have more of the game. Like even if I didn't capitalize it, it's not like the end of the world.
Right. Yeah, it's not like this is your trump card. It failed. Now that's it.
Exactly. So that's why I like putting it in the middle. But apparently that's like a not a very common opinion. I don't know if you know this about SNK games, but they're really, really popular in Latin America.
Yes.
Yes.
I know.
SNK games, super popular in Latin America. So when I was like looking up stuff for this game, I watched a whole bunch of like tier list videos in Spanish. I watched a whole bunch of like Spanish YouTube videos like explaining this game.
I did too, but I didn't need the subtitles, so.
and a lot of it was like talking about like the top system and like characters and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna keep it in the middle. But one of the cool things, I think this game came out in 1997. I'm a shitty podcast host. I should have looked that up. Let me see what year this came out in. Am I right?
All fists, no facts.
All fists, no facts. Oh, 99. I was way off. All fists, no facts. You know, I like that. That's just like that's like my cover for whenever I get anything wrong now.
Perfect.
You know what? I think Tekken 3 was 97, and that's what I'm thinking of. Tekken fans, don't correct me.
I have a fun story about Tekken 3 too, by the way. When you finish, I'll tell you.
But
it's very quick.
Because this game is like 20 years old, and people before fighting and before recording this, I watched like Evo Top 8 of this that happened last month. People are still playing this. So there's like 20 years worth of like research and documentation. So like the community has a really good understanding of these are the best characters, these are the worst characters, these are the best combos. You should avoid doing those things. So like there's like if you want to get into this game, there's a lot of like resources that will help you and like teach you how to get better very quickly. So like it's cool.
Okay.
Which Street Fighter 6, like we did that. It's still new. People are still trying to figure stuff out. When your shit's been out for 20 years, that's just like it's like a done game. Like people found that shit out.
Right. If you don't know, you just ain't gonna learn.
Yeah.
So can I tell you a quick story about
Tekken, lay it on me.
So in Wildwood, New Jersey, there is the hotel my family stayed at has been. My parents have been staying there for almost 30 some odd years. Like I'm pretty sure I was conceived in this hotel. Like I've been going there. Like my dad and the owner are like. They've known each other since they were younger. So, he had a Tekken 3 arcade machine there for years. I am nasty at Tekken 3 on the arcade cabinet.
Okay.
Transfer that shit over to a console, I'm garbage. I'm terrible. I'm using Eddie and I'm cheating.
That's why you gotta get a fight stick. It's like the same thing as like
I have a fight stick. It's behind your fight stick.
Then get good. I don't know what your excuse is.
My excuse is not the cabinet. All right, it's not the cabinet. My mom's not about to yell at dinner, son. So, he recently sold about 2-3 years ago. He actually was leaving from managing this hotel, and they were talking about turning the game room into more of like a venue-esque thing.
Okay,
people to rent. And I asked them what they were doing with the cabinets and all. Because Tekken 3 was the best cabinet there.
Yeah.
Well, he had Carnival for a little bit, but that's a shooting game.
Yeah.
So I actually told him, I was like, well, listen, I'll buy this off of you. Like, if you're just like trying to figure out how to get rid of them, I'll buy it off. He was going to sell it to me for $200.
Okay.
The cabinet worked completely, and I know how to repair those things. So I was going to buy it. My dad, and this was only about, I would say about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
My dad was like, well, Redfox, if you want it, we need to figure out how to get it back. It's not fitting your Honda.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me figure this out. Because if I bought it, I had to do it then. So we set it up to come back down about a weekend later. And to come pick it up, we were going to drive the truck down.
Yeah.
We were going to get it. I had cash in hand. Fucking buying this cabinet.
Yeah.
My parents were like, we'll put it in a storage unit until we figure out where to put it. Like, but, you know, like, you've been playing it since you were younger.
Yeah,
like, let's let's get it. I inadvertently inspired this man of the fact that this is how you can get rid of the cabinets. People will buy them.
Oh no.
So when he posted a picture of one of like the like academy police games where you shoot people, TAC Force, he posted a picture of it, and it was right next to the Tekken cabinet on Craigslist, and the person responded, "How much for the Tekken cabinet next to you? I'll offer you $450."
Oh no.
He sold the cabinet to the other guy, and he called us like the Wednesday before we were going down to pick it up, and was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, but like I'm leaving this, and this is my full-time gig. I'm trying to make as much as I can and cash out before I leave. There's another gentleman who already purchased the cabinet for $450." And I was like, "I'll never come back here again because it's under new management. I wouldn't anyway, but still."
The principle of it, I get
the principle of it. 3 years ago, I almost had an official fucking Namco Tekken 3 arcade cabinet, and I don't have it now. Instead, I have my arcade cabinet I just showed you, but it's not the same. It's not the same. You know how great this apartment would look? There's a Tekken arcade cabinet in the corner.
It would be very cool, but my first reaction was, good luck getting that up the stairs.
I got dollies and whatnot. I can make it work.
But if anybody wants to hear more about Tekken 3, Episode 3 of our podcast is on Tekken 3 with John from the Video Game Lounge. Shameless self-plug if anybody wants to go check that out. But back to Garou. So, like, I'm really glad you picked this. Garou is like, it's like a classic game. People love it. It's like, people say it's like the best Fatal Fury game. It's a lot of fun. And you didn't like this game until we played it, and then you were like, oh, this was fun.
Yes. Okay, so, if I may. When I was training up in the Himalayan mountains to fight Mikey on this, I was like I mentioned in part 1, when I first started playing it, I didn't really have a feel for it. I was like, it's a little older. I don't think I can get down with this. Like in an arcade setting, sure, but like I it's fun, but it's not what I'm used to right now. I'm playing more modern fighters. So then I switched up, and, but I mentioned I played Street Fighter Third Strike, and I was like, okay, I can relate this back to Garou. Mm-hmm. It's not as fun to me as playing with a person. So when I first played it, I was like, you know what? It's a solid 6 out of 10 game. Now that me and Mikey just played it, it's a fucking 11 out of 10 game. This game is the shit, guys.
It's so good.
This game's so good. So, alright, so I won. But Mikey then kicked my ass after we were done that. So, like, after that, we were fighting each other to the death. Like, we were fighting like the rent was due, and we're both paying it. Like, we were just picking characters, rumbling. Remember what I said about T-Sock in the beginning? I lied. He's fucking great. He's the best character ever. Actually, no, I lied. The other guy with that, I was like, oh, cool. So he's just Ryu.
Oh, no, fuck.
But.
Yes.
But it's the
Kanoosh.
fucking man. He is the greatest guy ever. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think he could beat up Akuma. I think he can. I think he beat the shit out of Akuma. And I ain't hearing otherwise. But no, after we did our matches, we still played a couple games. Got to play with some new characters. It was very refreshing playing this game with another person. I think old school games like this do require a second person. Because fighting the computer is either they're cheating, or you're just winning.
Yes. There's like no in between with them.
Right. There's no middle ground. But playing with you, like I had mentioned to Mikey when we were playing, like I'm playing like 8 different games at one time. Garou was one of them. Now Garou is staying one of them because I need to go and like challenge people online. Like I'm over here, big dick swinging on the table, ready to fight everyone with this fucking character that with Butt, who apparently is the greatest character of all time.
I don't know why his name is Koosh or Kanoosh, but in English, it's it's Kushnude Bud. I don't know why. He's Marco Rodriguez. He's from Brazil, and his name is Marco Rodriguez in every other region of the game except in the English version. They made his name Bud. But yeah, he's fun. Unfortunately, the few times I try to play this online, all of the lobbies are dead. So if anybody wants to get into this game, hit us up. We'll be the only people in the lobby, so you don't need to worry. Just let us know.
Just find the bloodbath lobby where me and Mike are killing each other in this game.
Yeah, but I say this every episode, but like this podcast is like kind of boring in preparation, but then when you actually like play against the person, it's like, oh, cool, this was fun, this was worth it.
Hey, what do you mean boring? I was getting drunk playing Garou at like 12 o'clock at night. It's like, I gotta win.
It's the like, so this was nice because I had it on the PlayStation, so I could like play in my living room on the nice TV, and like I'm hanging out with the dogs, or like Hannah can be there and doing something. All of my other games have been like on emulators in my PC in the basement. So I'm like in the basement by myself, yeah, trying to grind this shit out. It's like, this is what am I doing at like a Sunday morning by myself in the basement, hunched over my keyboard? This isn't fun. But also particularly like playing in person. This was the first time that when we were like done fighting, we're like, you want to play more for fun?
Yes.
Because all the other times it's like,
I gotta use T-Zoc.
Yeah, all the other times when I record it's like a Saturday afternoon or something, and everyone's like, okay, I have to be out by like noon because I have to like go do stuff with my family. But we're recording this on a Wednesday night at 11 o'clock, and there's like, I'm off tomorrow. I'm not doing anything. I can dick around for like 6 more matches. I don't have to, like, you're not kicking me out anytime soon, I don't think.
Now, I already assessed this apartment is yours.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that changed after you beat me. I figured, like, the rights to the apartment were on the line for the game.
Well, no, so the apartment's still yours, but I beat you, so your left shoe is mine.
Okay.
Like, I win for shoes. You could find me following Jay West around on the subway train, but I just have a bunch of shoes. It's like, what's with that guy? Doesn't matter. Fight him. He's the one training. I just have shoes.
Okay, so I'm looking at my notes, and the only other thing I wanted to point out, normally like in Street Fighter or like Tekken or something, when you win, you just get like a little check mark in the corner, or like a light changes colors. This game, everybody has their own individual logo, which I thought was really cool.
I noticed that. So I noticed that after our fights.
Yeah.
That is a fucking awesome touch. That small details.
It's
like
so
that,
little.
But they matter. They matter. That was so cool. Because the one match when I was using butt, I was like, oh, I thought I was dead.
Yeah.
And then I looked over, I was like, oh fuck, he's got like some nuke thing next to him. I was like, he's got another fucking move.
And then like T-Zoc or Griffin, depending where you are, T-Zoc, when he wins his little tally mark, it's a feather. I think that's cute. And like when Great wins, it's a star. And the only other game I've seen that has like individual icons per character is Smash Bros. But even then, like the logo behind your icon on the bottom where the health is, it's like representative of like the series. So like if you play like Mario Luigi, they got the mushroom there, and like it's just a little touch like that makes this game like, oh, that's cool, that stands out. It makes the characters feel more unique, even just like win animations aside, win like quotes aside, just like a little health bar thing just for them. I like it.
Right, which, to touch on that too, I think it's very important in older fighting games and in newer fighting games. Should take an example to Marco Wolves with this. The aesthetic counts for a lot.
Yeah.
It does. Like that neat little touch, the little logo, or the little logos in between your win symbols. Like the background, the character, and like also it's representative of the character you're playing. Like, small things like that add a lot to a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like, it does. And I wish newer games would have small touches like that. Like, I forget which fighting game it was. It's not a fucking good fighting game. I remember that. But I remember their meters were all different.
Okay.
Like, the one with, like, a dinosaur that you would fight as. And theirs had, like, the sword or meter had, like, a claw coming out.
Okay.
The other one was, like, Injustice has a thing like that. Where it's, like, and Injustice is because I just beat the first one again, that I noticed. Injustice is one of the first ones I've seen since this game, which I'll shoot you a text about which game that is. But, like, small things like that make you feel like you're doing more than just picking the character. You're picking the aesthetic of, like, your health bar, your meter, like your win logo. Like it makes you, and people main characters in fighting games. Yeah. They want that connection. Like Street Fighter 6, I main Cammy. for reasons that are NSFW. I can't believe I just pulled that out of my ass there. I was trying to remember what the fuck the anagram was. But like Cammy is my title card.
Yeah.
And all. Like small things like that people do because they feel attached to the characters. Mm-hmm. Little aesthetic change like that Garou had. That is one of the other things that hooked me because I noticed it with the butt fight. Then I really noticed it with the when we did the Teok fight and all. Which, by the way, Teok is the shit. He's feather Zangief.
Apparently, he didn't like the feathers. He felt dishonored, disgraced, and he's a dinosaur now. Which, after you mentioned that, you were like evolving to something like more dangerous and stronger. I was thinking, it's also like in a way, reverse evolution. Aren't like birds the closest ancestors or like descendants to dinosaurs?
Crocodiles.
Really? Okay.
Crocodile, alligators, and turtles.
Okay.
Are the closest, but evolutionary wise, yes, birds.
Yeah, and just like, so it's like the reverse of that. Just like going from the bird to the dinosaur, which I thought was cool. And like, I pulled up a picture of the newest King of Fighters game. King of Fighters 15 just came out last year by SNK, features a lot of the same characters. And like, their health bar system and like their meter thing, it's so bland, it's so boring compared to this. And like, the meters, like the health bar in the new KOF looks like a ruler. It has like little tick marks, which I guess is like good for visualizing like how much health you have left. But I don't need you to break it up into like eighths for me to see like, oh, I'm 6/8 down the way. Just like, it seems so boring compared to like the fun little, just even the little touch of like the star next to Grant's name when you win, something like that.
Small shit like that, it counts for a lot, especially in older fighting games where, you know, this is all you have in it. There's no cinematics.
Yeah.
There's no, like, rank play, no tower mode.
Yeah.
No challenge mode. No. But it makes up for it by having these small, nice little touches that show the extra care put into the games.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. So, from us playing this game, I can very genuinely say this game has kind of starting to break into my top 10 of fighting games.
Yeah.
Like, and I enjoyed it when I was, like, after, you know, after I started playing older Street Fighters, I was like, okay, I can relate this to Garou, and I started training more in Garou. But playing it with you, I'm like, I already texted my group chat, and I was like, all right, guys, we got to fight in Garou. We got to do it on PlayStation, though, because I only trained at PlayStation. We're not doing that Xbox shit.
And, like, I played a couple, like, traditional fighting games for the podcast now, and I've played throughout the year. I mean, like, throughout my lifetime, different fighting games, and, like, I'm not counting Smash because that's, like, a weird, wonky fighting game on its own, but, like, of traditional fighting games, I think, like, playing as Grant is, like, the most fun I've had with, like, a single character. I don't know what it is. I think it's because Grant is easy, and he's, like, dumb strong. He's just, like, a brute.
And you're fucking good with
yes,
him, too.
But he's also easy to use. I've had a lot of fun with Grant to the point where just, like, more so than, like, in Tekken I like using Panda, because I think Panda's funny.
Panda's awesome.
Yes, and, like, in Street Fighter, I try to use, like, Akuma for all of the games, because I like Akuma. I think I like playing as Grant more than that, and then I was disappointed that this is the only game Grant has been in because of, like, the weird future bullshit where it happens at the end of the timeline. Grant's not, like, relevant yet.
We got the announcement of Mark of the Wolves 2, so who knows? Maybe Grant could come back. We go even more future. Yeah. Grant's an old man. He sells fruit across from Akuma, and then Akuma comes back because Akuma loves being in everyone's fighting games.
And as we mentioned previously, Geese Howard and Akuma canonically in the same universe. Akuma comes in trying to figure out why Geese is dead. I have to train Geese's son. Terry's not doing a good enough job, and now I have Grant and Akuma in the game. #1 fighting game of all time for me.
Yes, that fucking works. We made it work.
And, like, I was looking into, so, like, not this one, but my old fight stick, there was no design to it. So I started putting, like, podcast logo stickers all over it. That was my game plan. And then I was like, I really want to get a Grant sticker to put it on this, because, like, you go to, like, Etsy and a lot of, like, these characters are, like, popular enough. You can get, like, a Ryu or an Akuma sticker. Grant was in one game 23 years ago. I cannot find a fucking Grant sticker anywhere to put on my... But it's like, no one gives a shit. He was like a one-time boss in a game 20 years ago. But
I'll 3D print you a little Grant figure.
I'm gonna have the only
On
Grant...
the bottom, it'll be engraved, never forget.
I'm gonna have the only Grant amiibo in the whole world.
I can do that.
Yeah.
It won't work as an amiibo, but I can do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and you can like make amiibo if you have like an Android phone. You can like flash amiibo cards.
I have a stack of them next to my bedside.
I'm gonna go ahead and like flash it to Ryu and like make the Ryu like Akuma color. So it's like the closest thing I have to Grant, but in Smash. And I'll name the amiibo Grant. But I'm looking at my list here. Is there anything else? Garou, Mark of the Wolves, SNK, Fatal Fury? You want to talk about anything you have on your list?
I would like to just say, I highly recommend this game to
Yes.
anyone who is a fan of old school fighter games, more pixelated. This game, playing with Mikey, and thank you very much for introducing me into this game. Lou, you don't exist in this context. This game, and I'm not just saying it for the podcast, it really is breaking into my top 10. Like, I'm putting this up there with like where I'm at with some of the older Street Fighter games. Like, this game fucks.
Yes.
Because like I like King of Fighters, but I'm not a King of Fighters person.
Yeah.
The only one that I enjoy is I want to say 2003,
Okay.
which everyone does because it
Yeah.
has the mechanics of Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
So you just relate to two different characters. This though is by far my favorite King of Fighters game.
Yes, by far.
I will actually put this above the other one because I enjoy this and I like retro gaming.
Mhm.
I love old school fighting games. This game I am dying to play with my arcade stick now.
Mhm.
So once I get my arcade stick working on the PS5, I want to play it on that because I want to see how I translate it to my arcade stick day or my arcade cabinet days.
Mhm.
And also this will go onto my modded arcade cabinet
Yeah, of course.
because this is going to be right there on the main screen.
Yeah.
This game is fucking awesome and I recommend it to anyone who's a fan of Third Strike, old school Street Fighter.
Mhm.
This is the fucking move. It's so goddamn good. Plays so fluid. The music bumps.
The music's great, and that was also just like a thing at the time. I remember like Third Strike had like a really jazzy soundtrack too,
Yeah.
and like Marvel vs. Capcom came out like a year or two after Third Strike. That had like a jazzy soundtrack. They kind of got away from just like the Sega Genesis, just like soundtrack. It's like the next system now. They have like more memory for songs, so they just like fuck it. We're gonna make a great soundtrack, and they did.
They did great. And aesthetically, the character designs and the characters are great.
Mhm.
There's characters who clearly take inspiration from like actual like kung fu movies and all, and it works perfectly. Like I said, it's a joke, but genuinely, he is Bushido Brown. Oh my god, I forget the actual. If you watch Boondocks, you know who Bushido Brown is, and you know who he's influenced by. He is that. But he's so goddamn cool. All the characters look great. And also, I just love the art design of the game. And I love the stages, too. The stages are so goddamn...
Yeah.
When we were in the wrestling ring,
Yes.
and I was like, Mikey, this isn't going to work. I'm T-Sock. I got the home field advantage, baby.
And one of the things I liked about this, so like, I'm thinking back to Street Fighter 2, and they had like animated backgrounds where like the characters were like cheering in the background, or like you'd see someone walking by with like a food cart. In this though, because of the way it was set up, not only was the background moving, but sometimes they would put something in front of the characters. Like the first stage we played, or the second stage where it was like on the moving train, they put a rail, and like it doesn't block the characters, it's just like down by their feet, but it's another element that moves individually to make it feel like the train car is like actually moving.
I fucking noticed
There's
that.
both like a background and a foreground, and your character sits in the middle of it. And even though it's a 2D fighter, it really gives it that depth of like, wow, look at all of this.
Yeah, it's great immersion for the game, especially for something this old. That was fucking solid. I do have one more question for
Yes.
you though. fighting game related here. What is the most obscure, weird fighting game that you have ever played?
Okay, besides Card Fighter, which is like a weird
Yeah,
mod.
That's already obscure enough.
Yeah. I remember I have like an EverDrive cartridge for my 64, so like it fits an SD card in there, and I have like the entire 64 library on it. I remember I was playing. We mentioned.
I'm gonna need you to mod one of mine, but yeah.
Clay Fighter. Just like I was playing Clay Fighter on that, and like that's fun. I found this game the other day. I haven't played it yet, but I want to get it on the podcast. It was for the 3DO. It was called Balls, and like all of the characters, they just look like they're made out of like molecules, and they look like balloon animals, and they're just like weird.
Oh my god! Wait, I saw this game.
Flobbly.
I saw this fucking game on TikTok before. Okay, I didn't know that was real.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look it up either because I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to fucking know. All right, god damn. All right, that's a good one. Damn, that beats mine.
Okay, what was yours?
Mine was have you ever played Castlevania Judgment?
No.
So, all right.
Is that a PS3 era game?
No, it's a Wii exclusive game.
Oh, okay.
It is called Castlevania Judgment. It wants to be Soul Calibur so bad, but it's not 3D, it's 2D. Or, well, it's 3D, but it's like a weird hybrid.
Okay.
But it's so good, but it sucks. It's a terrible game. It is one of the, I'm a huge Castlevania fan. It is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. It's so good, but it's the worst game, but it's great, but it's terrible, but it's really fun. But you'll hate yourself playing it, but play it because it's bad, but it's so good.
I will add that to the list. We super easy like to hack and just play a game off a USB stick, so I'll do that next week.
Yeah, it really is fun, but it's bad, but it's good. It's bad.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I always end the podcast with the same two questions. The first one kind of started off as a joke, but it might be a serious question this time. Normally we play like weird, shitty, obscure games from the 90s that nobody likes. But if you had the drunken gamers coming over, you had a crew coming over, and you had to like set up a fighting game night, are you setting up Garou Mark of the Wolves or Smash Bros?
Son of a bitch! I've listened to the podcast. I know this. I knew this was coming. Well, now that like I am the Mark of the Wolf. I'm setting up Garou.
Good. Okay.
Over Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is Smash Bros. You can get lucky.
Yeah.
Garou, I'm gonna beat the shit out of it, and I want to win. So it's Garou. It's Garou over Smash Bros. Also because Garou, I feel like it's a very good learning curve, and it's not too technical. Like, I keep relating things to Street Fighter Third Strike, most because I'm playing right now, but Third Strike is one of the games where the learning curve for that game, it's actually harder than it seems. You can pull off fine, but you go online, you're getting smoked.
Yeah.
You play someone who plays it, you're getting smoked. Garou, I feel like a couple games in, a couple warm-ups, it's an even playing field no matter how good you are, because they keep the game simple and fun, but if you're really about that life, you can do some damage, but just know you slip up, you can get caught.
Yeah.
Like, there's no... I don't feel like there's too bad of a learning curve for Garou, where there's a situation where someone who doesn't play fighting games can enjoy it. I feel like everyone can enjoy it. Characters, aesthetic, music, all that. You go with it. Smash Bros, I love it, but at the same time, if I'm inviting people over who don't play Smash Bros, I fucking recognize Pikachu. The fucking yellow rat from Pokemon. Like, I'm gonna pick Pikachu. I'm gonna pick the guy I know, regardless of how good they are. But Smash Bros, if you're good at the game, you're just fucking good at the game. Yeah. Like, oh, I fucking know. Smash players.
I think Garou has like, it has a low skill floor that people can just like come in and have a good time, but also has like a high skill ceiling where if you wanted to practice like those just defend parries and like just get really good at blocking attacks, you could. I'm not good enough to do that, but like yeah, I think it has like a good both like you said, a good like entry level and like a good when you get like higher levels, there's like good playing grounds for all of that.
Right, and I feel like too though, even if you're at a high playing ground,
Yeah.
Garou, and a low playing ground, guess what? Damage is the same.
Mhm.
You can get caught up in the middle of your combo by a series of, light attacks.
Yeah.
And then just an EX move, and hey, guess what? You just dropped a quarter. It's anyone's game now. Like I feel like this is a very fun. Oh, I don't really play fighting games. You know what? You'll get the hang of it.
I definitely think this is like a good like first like entry level fighting game.
Yeah.
It's also like if you show someone Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that has 56 characters, there's 3 characters at the time, and just like there's shit constantly flying all over the place. Like visually, that is a complicated game. When I was watching Evo, Hannah was like, I was watching Guilty Gear. She's like, "What the fuck is going on? Shit's just like constantly flying everywhere. It's like hard to keep track of."
That's me in Strive right now.
Yeah, it's like, and Strive, like it's cool the first time I saw it, but every time like you get a combo, the combo counters in the corner, it gets bigger and bigger the more attacks you do, which is like cool in theory. But then half the screen's just taken up by 36 combo. Just like there's so much shit.
The wheels of fate are turning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much shit happening on screen. It's hard to follow along. This game doesn't have that. It's very much just like like you said. I think this is a good like entry level fighting game, or just like a first fighting game to get into.
It's got the characters, the aesthetic, the music. Most of all, it keeps it simple, challenging, and easy enough to learn.
Yeah.
Like you learn the quarter circles, no problem. You don't got to worry about you got to do quarter circle forward, back, high heavy punch into no. You do X X Y, and then you can quarter circle into something. There you go. That's all you need. Bread and butter. It's a very bread and butter game.
And then I think some people might like this versus others. Like SNK games, they have a 4-button control compared to the Capcom 6-button control.
Yes.
Capcom has like light,
That's
medium, and heavy punch. SNK only has light and heavy punches. So they kick out that middle option. So like some people might go like, oh, I have less attacks now, but who gives a shit? It's like you still have like the light and heavy attacks. It's just like easy to work into combos.
But you work with what you got.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
make it work.
And then the only other question I have here was, if you were working for the development team when the game was being made, if you could add any character to the game, who would it be?
Akuma.
Okay, done.
No, here's why. And I said it jokingly, but here's why. Akuma, I've been thinking about this. I was hoping you were going to ask this. Akuma really does fit into every fighting game.
He does. Even in Tekken, it's 3D. They made him work in 3D.
He fits. But not Akuma related. I would have liked a sword-based character in it. Everyone's very, hands and feet.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Street Fighters like that too. But like you have like characters like Ibuki who use a kunai in some of their moves and all, like, and it gives a little bit of that hitbox ratio where you have that length of your attack. I would like a game similar to, or a swordsman-like character into this game. I think it would fit the aesthetic well and all. Actually, in around the same time, Samurai Showdown was popping. So
also an SNK game.
Exactly. So, like a Samurai Showdown character to show up into the game would be good. You would have to probably check it a little bit. Yeah. Because you don't want to be swiping someone half screen. But I think a sword character would work good in the game. Other than that, though, a character to bring in, it's Akuma. It's Aku Nasty. He's he's the man. He is literally the Dark Hado.
Yeah, I would be, if I had Grant and Akuma in this game, I would be very happy.
Yeah. Oh my god, Grant and Akuma fighting each other?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, now I'm just pitching a whole new game. I was going to say, go ahead, make it King of Fighters-esque, where I have a team of 2 people, let me play as Grant and Akuma at the same time, but that's not Garou at that point. That's just a different game. But someone go ahead and make that It can even be a Mugen for all I give a shit. Just like
I'm with it. I'm here for it.
Someone make a team-based fighter where I can play as Grant and Akuma.
Make Tekken Tag, but do it right this time. I love Tekken Tag, or not Tekken Tag. Excuse me, Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Yes.
But make it right this time. Tekken Tag's a shit. My fault. I insulted so many people.
I was about to like, oh, wow, I'm surprised he doesn't like Tekken Tag. Everybody likes Tekken Tag. Okay.
Tekken Tag's the greatest game ever made. It goes Resident Evil 4, Tekken Tag.
Okay.
It was engineered. It was the Pong of fighting games. It's perfect because it's simple.
It works.
And it had Pac-Man in it.
But wasn't it like box art appropriate Pac-Man? It was like the weird Pac-Man, the weird Mega Man, right? Yeah.
Yeah, fucking absolutely. And they made it work.
But that's all I have. So unless you got something to bring up or talk about, please. Yes.
I have one more thing to bring
Lay it
up.
on me.
So, have you ever played the Onimusha series?
No.
Okay, Onimusha is a action adventure game. Okay, but there is a Onimusha game. I forget which one it is. I think they had a multiplayer mode or just the whole game where it played like Smash Bros. I will send it to you. It is an interesting game, and I have more on that off the podcast.
Okay.
Maybe you could see it in a future episode with one of my co-hosts, because I feel like that would be a fun thing to to play. And that's all I have.
Is it Onimusha Blade Warriors?
It is Blade Warriors.
For the PS2?
It is Blade Warriors.
Cool. Quick Google search brought that up. So, look out for that maybe on a future episode. Who knows? We'll see. I was about to say, my entire philosophy to podcasting is never say no. So if anybody listening to this comes up to me and is like, hey, Mikey, I want to cover this game on the podcast, just let me know. I will cover it on the podcast. We can talk about it.
Yep, this is it. You guys can come here and play the game. I'll have it hooked up there. I'll just be in the back like, yo, fuck them all.
We're going to have Redfox as the hype man. But
That's what I'm best at.
Redfox, it is 11:30 on a work night. I appreciate you having me over to your house. But please, let the people know where they can find you and your myriad of podcasts.
All right, so this has been your boy Redfox. You can follow me on Twitter or X. Gonna give it to you. At Night of the LP, we are a Philly pop culture podcast. We talk about everything from gaming to comics to movies, pretty much whatever I want. And I have a revolving door of guests, so it's always a fun time. We keep it fresh, interesting, and we do a great job with it. Just kind of talking about whatever we want. And it's a lot of hate on that podcast. It's great. Like, I just hate on everything. The last episode, I was like, Barbenheimer, you guys are all enjoying it? I don't.
Yeah,
I just had to let y'all know.
You just hate fun. I can't get over it.
Yeah, I'm the fun police, man. I hate it all, but it's a fun time. I never hate without reason. But, yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at Night of the LP. And then if I could just give a brief shout-out, we do Drunken Gamers podcast as well with my co-hosts, Dave, Mike, and Lou. You can follow them on Twitter at Drunken Gamer Pod. Every week we discuss a different gaming topic. And then I have my horror podcast, Super Slash Bros, which it's getting the spooky season, so I got to promote this now. We have Mikey coming on. We're going to do The Descent. I'm bringing him in so we can talk about creepy cave things. But you can follow that on Twitter at Super Slash Pod. So go follow all three. I'm expecting all three, or don't follow none of us. Like, it's all three or none at all, baby.
All right, let's see here. For Night of the Living podcast, I was on 2 episodes talking about comic books. You don't have to listen. I'm not going to plug my own episode. I'm just saying.
I will. Go listen to them.
You can find me on that. I got drunk and rambled. We did 1 recording, and Redfox was like, this is too much. I need to do it in 2. Because you give me a beer and a comic book, and I won't shut up. But for Night of the LP, I'd recommend... Oh, shit. I had a really good episode of your podcast to recommend, too. It was like my go-to, like, oh, I really like this one.
Wait, is it the one with it's the Power Rangers one?
Oh, that's exactly what it was.
I knew it was.
Because I bring it up all the time. He does a really good Power Ranger series.
With Lance from Comic Book Keepers.
Lance with Comic Book Keepers.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's called, we actually have a name for it. It's called the Sentai Knights.
Sentai Knight
Squad. Sentai, no, just Sentai Knights. It's a series where I did with Lance. about the Power Rangers. Power Rangers. We're both huge Power Ranger fans.
You've done multiple episodes on that now, and like the last one I listened to was the one where you did the tier list of the Megazords.
Megazord Madness.
Yep, that was a cool one.
It's a 2-part episode because again, I start talking and I don't stop.
4, Drunken Gamers, the one that comes to mind. You covered a Digimon game, and
Digimon, U.S. Navy SEALs.
yes, and at one point someone was like, "Yeah, there's like Agumon the Marine," and Dave's like, "No, there's not," and then just like Digimon the U.S. Navy SEALs is exactly the thing to come to mind.
That's my favorite episode we've ever done. Oh my god! 30 minutes in, someone brought up this fucking Marine Corps Digimon, and that was it. It was the end. The rest of the episode was all about finding evolution for this thing.
I think at one point, so it's literally just like Agumon, but gray and in military fatigues.
It's a blue Agumon with a fucking military hard hat and fatigues, and he's got a gun.
But
this
then
fucking dinosaur has a gun.
It evolves into like a tank, I think, right? Just
Yeah,
like it gets rid of. And then for High on Heart, no, you don't do High on Heart. You do Super Slash.
Super Slash Bros.
Wrong horror podcast. For Super Slash Bros, I really enjoyed. You did like a full deep dive in like all of the episodes of
Halloween.
Yeah, the ones with Michael and like the Cult of Thorns.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, you did a whole deep dive into that.
Yeah, I did that with Josh from Four Nerds by Nerds and Jay West from the We Get Dub podcast. We are the Myers boys.
Yes, and I haven't even seen all those movies, but I listened to all the episodes. I enjoyed that. For me, I'm going to go ahead and continue not to plug my podcast. If you're listening to this, you know where the fuck to find me. I don't need to plug my Twitters or my RSS feed. You're already listening to me. You know who I am. However, I do want to give a shout out to the band that does our intro music. Their link is always in the description of the episode, but I think I forgot to give them a shout out the last 2 or 3 episodes, and I feel bad because they're awesome and they're from Queens, New York, which makes them even more awesome. So please go check out HTML, the band. Their link will be in the description below. They just came out with the new EP in April, I think. It's really good. They have a song about the Nintendo 64. If you're listening to this, you're probably a fucking nerd. You'll probably enjoy that song. But I got nothing else to plug. I got nothing else to say. Redfox, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate doing this in person. And, there's going to be another episode. I already got it lined up. You're so good with 0-2 Heroes content. You're getting at least one thing once a month. I'm working on a surprise second thing to hold off everybody in between. But until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Later.